I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your daily forecast for the day of Thursday, December 7th, 2017. Now, what is going on today is that we have the moon right here still hanging out in Leo, where it moved in yesterday, I believe. And what that does is it brings our attention to wanting to be happy, wanting to be more lively and more passionate and out and about, and to show our hearts, to be ourselves, to open up, and a lot of times to be active and to take the initiative in life in some way as well, with it being a fire sign. Okay, so I think that's what's going on here after spending maybe the last few days in Cancer and a water sign trying to get right with ourselves emotionally. Now we're starting to come out of that, to open up, to try to make things happen and to get things done in a way that just feels better for us. Okay, yeah, so that's what's happening. I think as we're starting to move and get things done and to make things happen, okay, and to be more active, I think there's an opportunity for us here with the moon in a trine with Venus in Sagittarius to start to identify with some new thing that we're doing, some new journey, to start to make sense of our life in some way, so that we can feel much better as we're moving forward and doing some of those things. Okay, because this is Venus, could also have a lot to do with money and relationships. Being happier, trying to find and do what it is that we need to be happy, could also help us as well to organize some of our finances and some of our money in a better way, and also to try to figure out ways too that we can work with people more positively to help us do some things that we know we want and that feel good for us. Okay, so I think that's what's going on at the end of yesterday and into this morning. Then after that happens, after maybe we're starting to feel a little bit better, identify with where our life is going, accomplish some things, make sense of our life, and work with people and our finances in order to get there, there could be some difficult feelings that come up at 10 a.m. Utah time, okay? Because at 10 a.m. Utah time, the moon, after it comes off this pretty aspect to Venus, is then going to move into a square here with Jupiter and Scorpio. So as we're trying to make big forward movement, especially with the moon here near the North Node, do some things that we want, to be happier, to feel more lighthearted, to do some things that we enjoy, and starting to work with relationships and money to make sense of our life and to make that happen at 10 a.m. there could be some hard feelings here about some changes that we need to make. Okay, starting to feel like we're moving in the right direction, or things are maybe hopefully starting to get better and come together, but still needing to make some more changes in order for us to more fully let ourselves go forward, let ourselves do the things that it is that we need to do. And I think that's where the struggle comes in. It's like we're starting to slowly identify more and more with our future, with where life is going, to understand more what's happening, what big commitment that it is that we're going to need to make at the end of this month when Saturn leaves Sagittarius. But I think we realize we're still not there yet. There's still more changes we need to do. There's still more emotional stuff that we need to uncover in some way. This could also be financial too. I don't know why I'm seeing big financial stuff today. I guess with both Scorpio and Venus, you get financial stuff coming in, but still could be some major changes that you need to make with your finances in order to feel more comfortable about it, in order to move forward. And I think you're trying to figure some of that stuff out. It's like we're starting to get closer to our life, to envision our life, to see where it's going, to make sense of it. This thing that we've been trying to work out for a really long time inside, but we're still not there yet. Still some changes we need to make, still some things that it is that we need to uncover before we can start to more fully embrace this new thing that's coming our way and feel much better about it. And I think that is what is going on 10 a.m. Utah time that we really need to figure out. Is okay, what are some more changes I can make so that I can fully do this new thing, be comfortable with this new thing, and move forward on it in the right ways and start to feel better. Okay, we're also coming off of a full moon too, which happened on Sunday, so that as well is bringing us a major readjustment. We're having to readjust our mind, readjust the way that we think about life and do things so that we can start to do new things and start to move forward in a way that is better for us. And I think that's a big thing that's coming in. What changes do you need to make here to start to feel better about life, to start to move your life in the right direction, and to just feel comfortable about it regardless of what has happened in the past? All right, I think if you can focus on making the changes that it is that you need to make, of course, in your life and within you and with your finances and maybe within your deep intimate relationships, to move your life in the right direction, to do some new things. I think it's going to help you later on in the day around 4 p.m. Utah time, because at 4 p.m. the moon then officially moves right over here where the North Node is, and around the same time also trines the sun. Okay, so what's going to go on there is at 4 o'clock Utah time is when you start to feel much better, to identify with your future, to take some big steps forward, to do some things that you know you need to do, because the North Node as well rules our destiny in life, our path in life, where we need to go. So I think towards the end of the day, we start to feel much better, doing some things we need to do, moving forward, making some big steps here, and of course with the trine to the sun, also beginning to identify with where our life is going, with what it is we need to do, with some new thing that's happening, starting to slowly make sense of our life in some way here. But I don't know if you're going to feel good at the end of the day or feel better unless you take the time out around 10 a.m. in the morning Utah time to really figure out what's going on inside you, to make any last minute changes that it is that you need to make, and to rearrange some things moving forward. Okay, I think that's what's going on. I think we're so close here to making some big commitments, to having some major clarity about our life, about where our life is going, about what's happening, about what it is we're being called to do at this time, for better or for worse. And we're just still trying to make the last minute changes, figure some things out, have some pieces fall into place, and work everything together in some way. And I think if you can focus on doing that today, it's going to help you a lot later on in the day, and of course building up to this new moon that we've got. All right, so that's what's going on there. Now in the background, just to talk about some of the other stuff, we have got Mars at 29 degrees Libra. All right, I'm going to talk about that. It says 28 here in the chart, but by the end of the day, it'll be at 29 degrees Libra. And then, of course, tomorrow it'll be at 29 degrees Libra as well. Really, again, relationships are huge today. Working with other people to get things done and to make things happen. I think we're starting to understand that relationships can help us. Of course, with the moon and a trine to Venus today, I think we want to move forward on relationships too. But I think here, maybe we're feeling a little urgent, a little impatient here with relationships, a little bit uncomfortable, even though we know they can help us, even though we want our relationships to be there for us and to be good. I think maybe we're a little nervous that they won't fall into place, a little bit uncomfortable about them, a little worried, maybe being a little bit more forceful again than we need to be with relationships as a result perhaps of some of our urgency or some of our fears that things aren't going to work out right. So I think that could be another thing that could come on today. Also with this, a need to realize that you're going to be fine. Your relationships are going to be fine. No need to be forceful with people. No need to be aggressive here. Just be patient and just trust that everything will fall into place. And once Mars moves into Scorpio very soon here this week, your relationships are going to get a lot easier, and you aren't going to feel that pressure that you feel now. Perhaps for maybe no reason. Okay, so just be careful with your relationships. Make sure that you're handling them properly, especially with Mercury going retrograde here. You don't want there to be any miscommunications in relationships that make something worse than it is than you need to be. So yeah, so just watch out for that. I think there are lots of opportunities for people to work with people. I've been saying that for the past 2 or 3 days, especially with Mars here in a sextile with Saturn and with Mercury. Lots of important conversations with people about some commitments you're doing, about some new thing you're doing, how people can help you do some new things, make sense of your life, find the passion in your life. I think there's a lot of that going on, but I think we could just be a little worried that things are going to fall into place. We could be a little bit scared here, wanting to work with people, not knowing how, and just needing to just chill out and realize that things are going to be fine if you just are patient with people in some way. Okay, I see that going on. Venus as well, starting to come into, it's not quite there. I mean, it's at 7 degrees in this chart and Neptune's here at 11, but Venus also starting to come into a square with Neptune, making patience in your relationships even more important. Since Venus rules relationships, of course, Mars is in Libra, the Venus ruled sign. So needing to be really patient and really understanding with your relationships, being intuitive with people, and with money as well in a lot of ways. You know, if someone says something to you and inside you realize there's something not right about this, or they're not saying the thing that they mean, I think you have to be patient, you have to be understanding here, and you have to listen to some of these intuitions that you have with money and especially with relationships moving forward. Okay, with that, I just see, I don't know, relationships and money going to be big today. Really figuring some of that out, making some changes that you need to make here with your relationships, with your money, to put it in a much better place. Okay, so that's happening. At the same time, we do have Jupiter still, which has been doing for about a week now, in a trine with Neptune, very close, 11 degrees. Really saying any changes that you do make here are going to be good for you, are going to help you be more comfortable in life, feel better about life, move forward in a way that's really important to you. And of course, the Jupiter influence coming and do something new that's exciting for you here, but just really needing to make those changes. You know, it's like one of those weird things where like Jupiter's, I mean, wherever Jupiter is good. It's in Scorpio. Changes are good for us. But I think today with the square to Jupiter from the moon, we don't want to change. We want to be excited. We want to move forward on some big plans of ours, and still having to make sure that you pay attention to making the changes. And I think if you can make changes that you need to make, go deep inside yourself, allow yourself to rearrange your finances and your relationships in some way, it really is going to help you feel much better and do some new things that it is you need to do if you are just patient and understanding of people and the process as you try to tie up some loose ends, move your life in the right direction, and do some things that you know you need to do. Okay, the sun also in a trine with the North Node, which of course I covered a little bit already, with the moon also in that same trine with the sun, conjunct the North Node here, saying lots of opportunities to move forward, huge opportunities, I think, to do something you know you want to do, you've been called to do, to move your life in a new, different direction in some way here, and really needing to let yourself do some new things, to detach from the past, detach from old situations, so that you can really begin to move forward, move in that direction, make the changes you need to make, and bring everything together here so that at the new moon on the 18th, you can start to feel more comfortable moving forward without having any reservations, without having any hesitations, without anything holding you back about your life and the way that you wish it would be. And I think now things are starting to come together, and we're just trying to make some more changes to put our life in a much better place. All right? And needing to not be frustrated if a few last minute things keep coming up that you have to deal with, that you have to change, that you have to make sense of in order for you to start feeling better. All right? So I think that's all I'm going to talk about today. Trying to see if there's anything else I want to mention. Maybe I'll just do that. I don't know if I want to talk about Mercury here being at 27. It finally retrograded back over Saturn after having crossed it. So I feel like maybe there were some decisions that we've been making or thinking about making or thought we were going to make last week. And I think with Mercury now on the other side of Saturn, we're making sure that those decisions that we thought about last week, those things that came up perhaps are right for us. We're trying to make sure they're better for us. We're trying to go back over them in some way and to work out some more of the details before Mercury meets back up with Saturn and we start to feel much better doing what it is that we need to do. So just a lot of that. All right, I'm just going to go into your card. That for the day here is the Devil reversed. Again, another card about detachment, detaching yourself from old situations that do not work, from old things that have been holding you back here, and moving forward. Normally when the Devil is reversed, it's a good card. It means you are letting go here and moving forward, and I think that's what you need to do today. Here, it could also serve as a warning to not get too caught up in things that aren't good for you anymore, and ways of thinking that aren't good for you, and just situations that aren't good for you, to let go of the past here and just do what you need to do to begin to identify more with the future, to not hold yourself back. I think with this card, since a lot of times I do like to interpret the cards upright, I like to interpret them both ways here to give you the advice associated with the card. This card too can indicate your own desires. Maybe we have desires that we're attached to, things we wanted, you know, that didn't work out, or that we were hoping would work out, or that we're still wishing would work out, and we're trying to get right with inside. And I think this is another message here that says don't let your own desires blind you from what's really going on and from what's really happening here, and try to see things, if you can, objectively here. Detach from some things you really want so that you can begin to see what it is more clearly, what it is that you need to do, and move in that direction, even if there still is some changes and some things that you need to do to get there. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.